In this video, my mate Josh and I went to explore a new spot in Port Phillip Bay on a pretty mint day. We'd heard about a reef that was in the 8 to 10 meter depth range and was usually fishy, so we went out. This was my first dive of the day, and I wanted to go down and see the potential for scallops in the area. You can see it's a sandy bottom and there's some shells on the bottom, so it's a pretty good indication that scallops will be in this area. There's a little ray right there on the left. So what I'm doing is I'm just hovering and I'm looking for the telltale half circular shape in the sand. And just trying to look to see as much as I can. And I'm about to come up, and then right then I see it. And so I had some extra breath, so I decided to go down and snag it for the added bonus of getting a scallop on my very first dive of the day. So it's a great start, and I'm happy to see that we're in scallop territory.
Scallop!
So Josh starts out and puts us on the board after my scallop, and he gets a shot into a nice blue throat wrasse. Blue throat wrasse are a decent reef fish, and there's a lot you can do with them when cooking later on. So he was pretty happy with this. I dropped down on the reef and was pretty excited about all the fish life I was seeing. There's a bunch of wrasse everywhere. There's a magpie perch, and just happy to see so much life because the bay had been pretty quiet on some of my previous dives in other spots. It's just fun to explore a new reef as well. I don't see anything worth taking on this dive, so I head for the surface. I'm going down again, looking around for target fish species, which so far on these dives I've seen snook, magpie perch, and blue throat wrasse. I soon see a blue throat wrasse, and I line up. Take a shot, get a decent shot into it, and head for the surface to pull it up from there.
Blue throat.
And as I pull the line up, you can see that the fish isn't very securely attached to the shaft. It almost looks like it's hanging on by a thread. And so I'm super carefully making sure I get it into my hands before I finish it off, as the last thing I want to do is have it injured and have it tear off. After I secure it, I brain spike it and gut it. So on another dive, I find more scallops on the bottom. This one's a 2 scallop dive. And later I go on a dive down with Josh, with both of us diving, and show him how to look for them underwater, as he'd never gotten them before. And as soon as I show him, he's onto it, as it's a shape that once you see it, you start recognizing it everywhere.
Sweet, big ones.
And overall, we get about 10 or 12 for the day. So on this dive right below where our boat was anchored, I found an anchor and decided to salvage it. It was heavy swimming up, but manageable. The best part was when we got back to the boat ramp, we offered it for free to another boat who were stoked to have it. Next, we wanted to move the boat to a different part of the reef to explore other areas. So we just hoisted up the anchor a bit and manually swam the boat until we were happy with the new location, and then let the anchor sink again. By this point in the day, unfortunately I was having trouble equalizing effectively, and it would get painful even to go past 5 meters. I would stop being able to equalize. So I was diving to the point where it was still comfortable and hovering over the reef and hoping that my 120 roller would help get me into range. I see 2 blue throats that are just out of frame and go for the larger one and get a shot off. You can see it's fighting, and unfortunately it tears off within a few seconds, and I'm bummed.
It came off.
Oh.
Damn.
That blue throat?
Yeah, it was a blue throat. Me too.
So I reload, and 10 minutes later, swimming around the reef, we see a similar sized blue throat to the one I had shot. Swimming around the reef, acting a bit weird, almost as if it was itching itself. It stops behind a piece of kelp, and I take the shot, and huge miss, but I see it's the fish that had torn off, and make the grab with my hands. And I'm so happy to close the loop on this and make sure there's no injured fish swimming around the reef.
I missed,
I heard you hit the floor.
but I grabbed him. Oh my god, thank you.
That's awesome.
I thought he was acting a tiny bit weird, but I thought he was just like itching himself.
That's what I thought so too. And then I was like, you know what? If he is weird, I'd rather you get it because it's your fish. Awesome.
It's a good sized one.
That is. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, I need to finish him. Awesome, that's a good resolution. I can't believe I missed again. I shot even though there was a plant in between me and the fish. I just didn't want to spook him, you know?
Then I finished the job to gut the fish, although as it was effectively a gut shot and it tore out, most of the guts were already ripped out of the fish. But I still like to gut it and gill it and sometimes scale the fish to return as much of the fish to the ocean as possible. So here we are with a small feed of scallops, heading back in. You can see how the sky has cleared up nicely into a beautiful day.